Hello, inflation fighters. Thank you for joining me, the Penny Nanny, where we watch over every cent. It's Wednesday, so it's Wealth Wednesday. We're going to talk about money. And an interesting dynamic of managing food storage and planning came up last week. Now, we all know that the price of everything is going through the roof with no limits in sight. So I'm really thankful for the food pantries. They have eased my mind quite a bit, especially when it comes to meats. I'm not a big meat eater, but my mister and my son are. So food pantries are kind of like Christmas morning where you get your meats. That being said, there are some things to consider. Every time you make something from scratch, there are costs associated. And it's something to keep in mind. Electricity, water, pennies add up there. And an example is frosting. Yes, you can make your own, but that requires butter and sugar and milk, things you can't count to receive from the pantries. You can't count on receiving those things. So if you're watching your price book and monitoring the sales, a tub of store brand frosting might be more economical. Butter is around like $1 a stick right now on average, and the cost of cocoa powder and sugars, that all adds up. And so homemade frosting requires 2 sticks of butter for a 9 by 13 cake. Then you have the energy to mix it together and wash those things, and the water usage. This week, Kroger had frosting on sale for $1.67, and that turned out to be the more economical choice than making my own. Because as we get closer to the holidays, it's going to be harder and harder to have sugar and flour and butter that we receive from pantries. And they can go scarce at the store too. So it is a good idea to look at which costs more for you when you're doing that. And then now here's another example. I baked pork chops, covered them in mayonnaise, and sprinkled them with Parmesan cheese instead of something like shake and bake. And that for 4 pork chops, the total cost of doing all of that was $1.60. Meanwhile, generic pork shake and bake has 2 envelopes of coating in it for $1.64. And 4 pork chops only uses half an envelope. So I can make it 4 times instead of 2. And that brings the cost to just 41 cents per meal. And that's a better deal for sure. So this is just another angle to consider, because mayonnaise is very expensive, Parmesan cheese is very expensive. Those things are there. And again, you can't count on always getting them from the pantry. So it's really important that you keep your price book so you know where you can get the least expensive items, and then decide, is it worth using the resources that you have and the supplies that you have on hand, or is it better economically to just get 1 tub of frosting? 1 thing of shake and bake. Just stuff to consider. So, with that being said, be well, be blessed, and know you're taken care of. Bye now.